Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are live. And I haven't done a live on my own for a while, so it's going to be a bit strange. Normally on my Monday live, I have someone in with me. So it makes it a lot easier because you don't feel you're speaking to yourself. So welcome. As I mentioned in the thumbnail, it's my birthday today, 40, not 42, 30, 42 will be a bit high, 34 years young. I don't feel 34, but I feel like I'm getting older by the hour. So I'll wait for people to join in with the chat. But the best news to wake up this morning, and I want to speak about a bit today, is a little bit about YouTube as well as eBay. And I woke up this morning to 1,000 subscribers, not overnight. It's taken 7 weeks to hit that point. But more importantly, I feel is one of my YouTube videos is starting to go viral. And looking at the stats this morning, it's up to 72,000 views. So hopefully that will keep spreading out and keep going further, which will hopefully get more people to view the channel. As you can see, the shed is an absolute mess behind me. I've been working through the eBay stock and I'm away for a few days. We're actually going down to Exmouth to visit my brother and his wife who've just had a new baby. So that's really exciting. And what I'm going to try and do is maybe like a bit of a vlog format for this weekend, a bit of a day in the life, but it's more going to be a weekend in the life of going to car boots down that end. So while I wait for a few people to join the chat, I have got some questions pre-prepared. But first off, married to reselling. So thank you guys for joining. And as I mentioned, thank you so much for the shout out last night on Instagram. You've seen that video that is going absolutely mad. And I've spoke to Mel earlier today. She messaged me first thing this morning, actually. And I'm trying to get my head around it because my head's absolutely gone and why it's gone so mental. All I'm doing is kind of putting out the content I'm making, the work I'm doing day to day. So for some reason, it's YouTube's picked up on that and is going mad. And yeah, you're right. 7 weeks is incredible. 72,000 views on that video. When I started this YouTube journey, as it were, I never expected to even get more than 10 subs. I'll be honest with you, and that's not me just sort of downplaying it. I didn't expect the channel to get to anywhere it is now. As I say, I'm no YouTube expert and I'll never claim to be. All I will do today, if anyone wants advice, is talk about what I have done, and that's all I can do. And to maybe give some ideas why that video has gone viral and why I've managed to monetize in 7 weeks, because I sent off the form this morning via YouTube. Mel was saying to me it takes about a week for it to sort of happen. But you know, I didn't do this for the money, and I'll get into that a little bit in a minute. So yeah, thank you for joining. Leah, hi Leah, thank you. I know again you messaged this morning and I told you the good news, so welcome. Leah's my little niece, so yeah, thank you for joining. And Landon, again, another huge support with this YouTube journey of mine. He's been talking to me quite a bit about YouTube. I was telling him yesterday how the video has got to 40,000 likes in the morning. And then, yeah, it's gone up to 72. I think yesterday was just under 30,000 views in a day. So I must be doing something right, but at the moment, I don't know. So yeah, I just wanted to really pop on for an hour, a bit of a chilled one today, really just to talk about eBay, talk a little about YouTube, to answer any questions people might have on both subjects. So a bit of a Q&A. So if you do have any questions, please pop them in the live chat, because I don't want to feel like I'm just speaking to myself for an hour, because you guys will probably get bored of that anyway. But I do have some questions that people have sent me over Instagram. So we will start with some of them if I can work out how to do this. There we go. So the first question was, how do you now manage work-life balance doing YouTube alongside eBay? Do you have a clock in and clock out time? So this is really important because YouTube can feel at times like a full-time job. It's not just a case of sticking on your GoPro, doing a 30-minute video around a car boot and uploading it. The editing time takes a lot of time. Not just that, the thumbnail design and the ideas for the thumbnail, and also your titles take a bit of time as well. You want to be quite creative with your titles, and we'll go into that a bit later. But with regards to work-life balance, I think eBay gives you that work-life balance as long as you're sensible with it. So for instance, I will normally get in the shed here about 7 o'clock in the morning. And ideally by about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I want to be done for the day, as in ready to take my parcels to the lockers or to Hermes to send them off. So yeah, I try and plan my day like that. It doesn't always work like that. So sometimes I'm working late into the evening, sometimes I'm doing more bits over the weekend. But with YouTube, yeah, I have found it is taking up a bit more of my time. So what I've tried this week is actually to try and get all of my 70 eBay listings, because I'm trying to be a bit more consistent. So trying to process all my 70 eBay listings on Monday and Tuesday, and then leave the rest of the week for more of the YouTube stuff and more sourcing. So I managed to do that this week. Whether I can maintain that long term, I'm not sure. But it's just something I am trying. So fingers crossed that goes well. Steve, another great support. We've had lots of chats on Instagram, and he's been really supportive and also telling some dad jokes, which is always fun. So thanks, Steve. My dad, Paul Bolden, hello. Thank you. I will be seeing my dad tomorrow. I think he's arriving there. Well, he's probably arrived down there already today to see my brother as well. So I'll be seeing him tomorrow. And my uncle Richard, who was at the car boot sale with me on Saturday while filming. And at certain points, I'd left the GoPro on. And I'd warned him that anything he did say, I could use as evidence in the future to show my auntie. So yeah, I've got a couple of things I'm just going to hold back in case that time does come. So with regards to the next question, what are the stresses involved in reselling? So there is a lot of stress in reselling. It's not all fun and games. And I like this channel to be very honest about what reselling is, because you can see channels where they will show you all the good stuff. You know, I picked up this item, it sold overnight, I made all this money, and that's well and good. But I think anyone who resells full-time or even part-time, you realize the stresses do come from the fact of, if you do set yourself a listing goal, you need to make sure you have enough stock for that listing goal that week. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind. Storage is a huge stress. As you can see, this shed is absolutely full now to the rafters. And I also have storage, as I mentioned before, at my dad's for the books. So they're all stresses involved. But also, what can ruin your day is a return from a customer. For instance, I had a return the other day for a £140 item that I had tested before I sent out. It was an old amplifier, and sometimes they do have a bit of a hum because they are old. And so when you plug it in, sometimes it does have that faint humming noise that you can hear. The customer first of all said it was broken, and then the return was actually sent back to me as a change of mind. So that does cause a stress, because £120 coming off your day before you've even started can really put you in a really bad mood, and it can ruin your whole day. But what I've learned to do more so recently is to think about, how much did I pay for that item? And actually, I brought it in a big bundle and it owes me nothing. So in fact, you are receiving it back. You are having to give back that £120, but you know you can relist it. So that's where the stresses come in. But I would say 90% of the time, being a full-time eBay reseller or reseller on any platform is really fun. You're your own boss. You can be flexible. Even like today, we can leave whatever time we want to go down, and they're the really good parts. So yeah, that would, I say, the biggest stress, dealing with returns, and also just dealing with customers. Sometimes the customers can be difficult, so you have to really work on that, because the frustration really kicks in, and sometimes it's easy to just go back to the customer and tell them they're wrong. But actually, I've had many customers who are very honest and genuine, and sometimes they are right. So I'll just say a few hellos before we carry on with some questions. So Limelight Vinty, I know you've been an advocate supporter of the channel from day one. So yeah, appreciate you popping in. We've got Chris. Chris, I was just on your live actually, and I heard you were wrapping up, and I thought I never like to clash with Chris. So Chris goes live on a Monday at 8 o'clock, which is why I do the coffee pod at 7, because I never like to clash with other channels where possible. I think there's enough spaces for everyone to have their fair show of the lives. So Steve asks a good question here. How far do you want to grow your reselling business, and how do you plan on doing it? So yeah, amazing question. How far do I want to grow the reselling business? I don't know at the moment. I want to get to the stage of where I can comfortably live and we don't have to worry about finances and bills. That's where I want to get to. Longer term, I would love to get to the stage of, and she might even be watching live, where my wife Leanne doesn't have to work. So when we start a family, she can be here to raise children alongside myself. But being a full-time reseller is great with that kind of thing as well, because you can be flexible with your working times, and you can spend time with children growing up. It's really important. So where do I want to grow the business? I want to grow it massively, but I'm not sure whether I ever want to get to the stage of where I'm in a warehouse or I've got staff. But in the future, that could happen. You know, at the moment, I'm in a small shed. I've been reselling eBay now coming up to nearly 2 years, but I've taken my reselling journey to a new level, and that's by staying more consistent. So Fix It for reselling. No, we had a good chat and gave a really good tip yesterday. I've been buying a lot of cable ties to tie up cables, and he gave another option which is a lot cheaper. So yeah, amazing tips. If you don't follow Fix It, please do. Tap Pellers in. Hiya, how you doing? Yeah, Chris, I noticed you're at once and wanted wrapped up. Yeah, I appreciate that. As I say, I try not to clash with other channels, which is why I made it 1 o'clock today, because I know you normally go live at 12. So no, I appreciate that. Neil and Jan, hiya. Thank you again for all your support. And myself and Neil have been having YouTube chats the last couple of days. He's been asking me how that video of mine's gone viral, and I've been telling him the same. I'm going to tell you all today. There's reasons why I think it might have gone viral, but I don't know definitively. So I'm happy to tell you what I think, but it's not guaranteed. As I say, I've been on YouTube 7 weeks, so I don't know if what I'm doing is right and the reason behind it. Hey James, David here from Reseller Nirvana. Once again, congratulations, I mentioned earlier in the group chat. Yeah, absolutely. The Reseller Nirvana group have been so important to this journey. Mel's in there, and I've mentioned Mel a lot of times. She's offered me a lot of support. Neil's another one as well as on YouTube. But there's lots of people in there with lots of knowledge with YouTube. Chris Lynn, who runs the group, has a really successful YouTube channel. And actually now in the group as well, they've introduced a YouTube dedicated call on a Thursday. And that's an hour call, and you can ask beginner questions. And when I next go into that call, which hopefully will be today if I'm down in Exmouth in time, is I want to ask them, what is the next steps? You know, I've applied for monetization. How do I put adverts into the channel? Where do I put adverts, and what advice they can give? Because I've watched many YouTube channels before where every 2 minutes there's an advert and you click off because it's too much. So do you put it in the start? Do you put it in the middle, or do you put it at the end? So yeah, I'm completely learning, but yeah, thank you again, David, for joining in. So I will go through a few more of the questions, but if anyone's got any questions, eBay or YouTube related, I'm more than happy to answer. So pop them in the chat. As I said, I'm going to be on until probably about 2 o'clock today or so. So yeah, please ask some questions. Did you start YouTube to help eBay grow? When I got this question, I didn't know how to answer it, to be honest, because I never once thought anyone from my YouTube community would be interested in buying from my eBay store, because I assumed a lot of people who watch my videos will be eBay resellers. And already I can tell I'm wrong on that front, because I've had a message already on Instagram about something I picked up at Carpool where they might be interested in buying the item. So it's really interesting for me to realize that it's not just resellers who watch the content. And I know people in the family who watch other resellers even before I started YouTube as well. So the answer is no, I didn't use it to help eBay grow. The reason I started YouTube is because eBay had turned from what was a hobby to me to now a job. And I wanted that hobby again. I wanted that bit of excitement. And I've seen so many people do really good things on YouTube, and I wanted to give it a go. And the worst case scenario, I put a couple of videos, I get loads of hate on the videos. People hate the videos and they say, oh, you know, you're no good at this, or it's rubbish, or whatever. But you learn from that and you think, you know what, I gave it a go. And I've been amazed by the support I've been given from the community. I do get some negative comments on the videos, but I think that's natural. But I've just faced up on them. And I think I had my first negative, what's basically said is your videos are as boring as watching a paint dry, which made me laugh. And I thought, you know what, I can delete the comment, or I can just deal with it and face it. So, you know, everyone's opinions, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to keep switching to the comments and stuff as well. So Fixer said, I had a returns video that blew up and got me over 1,000 subs in 2 weeks. Yeah, absolutely. People like that bad news, funnily enough. And I'll go on to my video in a minute, but I think that's why it's kind of blown up. Not because of bad news, but because of drama. People like watching that part. And as long as you can get it in the right point, you could attract people to come and watch your video. So yeah, sometimes when things go wrong, it is good for YouTube. So Mel was the reason I joined up too. We're both from I guess that's Australia. Yeah, both from Australia. Yeah, Mel had an Australia call earlier. I jumped on that. I always like jumping on the Australian call in the group just to have a chat with the guys there. Really cool chat with Mel today. Santa Claus, I've seen you on the other lives. I think this is the first time you've joined in, and Santa Claus obviously from the North Pole. So thank you for joining us. So I'll go back to the questions, but like I say, for anyone who's just joined, today is a really open conversation about eBay and YouTube. So if you've got any questions, please do let me know. So this is an eBay related question. So what is your favorite thing about reselling? And I think I mentioned it earlier, but for me, it's the flexibility. I suffered a lot with anxiety, and I still do from time to time now. And I know when I'm having a bad day, when you're in a normal, typical 9 to 5 job, it's really difficult then to have to explain to people, like, I mean, it might be a bit quiet today, I might be a bit down, but it's nothing personal. It's just stuff that's going on with me. With doing eBay and working for yourself, if I'm having a bad day, do you know what? I can say, go to the gym, go home, relax. Don't stress about it. As long as you have your drafts in place, which I've been doing a lot more recently, you can actually take that time off. So my favorite thing about reselling is the flexibility, but I also like that treasure hunt. I love going to the car boot sales. You never know what you're going to find. And someone on one of my lives last week asked where they could find a certain item at what car boot sale. And the truth of the matter is, as you all know, if you're a reseller, you just don't know. You can walk into a car boot sale, and I've spent hours at a car boot sale and come home with 2 items. And I've gone to a car boot sale, been there half an hour and filled up the van. So it all depends, and every day is different. But yeah, I would say the number one thing for me is the flexibility. I kind of answered this one earlier about why did I start the YouTube channel. It is purely for that enjoyment. It's purely for having that hobby alongside reselling. And it's basically what I do day to day. I film when I'm at the I use the GoPro to film when I'm at car boot sales. I film what I have in the shed here. And I said I'm going to do a bit of a vlog format this weekend, hopefully. So I'm just trying different things. But I've seen loads of people do YouTube, and I realized that I spend 90% of my time when I'm watching things actually on YouTube, and 90% of my time watching other resellers and what they pick up at car boot sales, etc. So I thought, you know what? Why not give it a go? I was encouraged by some YouTubers. I was encouraged by family members to just try it, and that's why I done it. So I jump back into the comments here. So it's going to be a bit all over the place today, but hi, Chris. Thank you again. Chris has been in my lives quite a lot of the time from day one. So yeah, I appreciate that, Chris. Really do. Negative comments are great. You know what, you're doing something right when you get them. They feed us, but we don't feed them back. Yeah, absolutely. And I love feedback in my videos. I had someone the other day who said, your videos are really good, but have you tried doing audio over the top? So this weekend, what I'm going to try and do is to film as normal, but then when I edit the video, add a bit of audio over the top as to why I picked up certain items, why I left things behind, etc. So yeah, feedback is great. My first negative comment, I was a bit like, oh God, everyone hates me. But then you quickly realize that one negative comment out of the thousands of positives you get, it's not worth worrying about. So the wife is in. I did say she'd be watching. So yeah, thank you for the happy birthday. And thank you as well, more importantly, for putting up with me and me coming into you every half an hour to say I've gained 1 extra subscriber, or oh my God, I've got an extra 200 views on my video. You've had to put up a lot in the last 7 weeks. So yeah, thank you for that. Thumbs down on my videos used to really bother me, but these days I don't care, as it's still some sort of interaction, which I think all helps. Yeah, absolutely. YouTube have actually stopped, I believe, showing your thumbs down as well to other people. And I think the reason they done that is because it used to really put people down. You can get 500 thumbs up, but you can get 1 thumbs down. And we all know what we're like. We focus on that one thumbs down. So yeah, I think it's great. The interaction's great. And I love the comments on my videos because I try to reply back to everyone. And even the people who don't like the videos, I ask them, what could I do better? What would you like to see? And if they come back with ideas, I'll trial it, absolutely. But it's funny, the people who really want to put you down are the people who haven't got any ideas. So they're just there to troll you. So yeah, I completely agree. I'm thinking of doing a video detailing how someone ended up falling off my nice list. That should get me a few subs. Well, Santi, if you go through some of my videos, there's probably a few people off the nice list because they've left me some nasty comments. So yeah, that's a good way to start. I'm still struggling to build a good sized draft bank. Yeah, so I was completely the same until I joined the reseller group and realized how important a draft bank was. I never used to do it. And I've been in the group now for 8 months, I believe. And even still, I struggle to build a draft bank. I normally get up to a stage of where I think at one point I had 150 drafts and I list normally 10 a day. But then what would happen? I would say, oh, I don't need to do any work today because I've got the drafts. Don't need to do any work tomorrow. I've got drafts. Or I'll take this weekend off. I don't need to do anything. And it quickly disappears. This is the second person in the space of a week and a half who has said this. Lee Nelson's double. I've had, I can't think of the name of the Richard Bacon. No, not Richard Bacon. Who's the guy who does the EE adverts? You guys will let me know. Kevin Bacon. I've had Kevin Bacon a couple of times, but Lee Nelson's not one I've heard until I was at a wedding actually at the weekend, and someone said I look like Lee Nelson. So you're a second person. So yeah, Lee Nelson. Maybe I'm getting older. Maybe that's what it is. So yeah, that's a new one to me. Another question come in. This is from SB Reselling Co, who I had on my coffee pod, and she started a YouTube channel. When we were talking, she was debating whether to do it, and I said to her, the same as me, just start it because you're always going to think, what if? And she's doing really well on her YouTube channel as well. So if you don't follow SB Reselling, please do. But she asked, do you miss anything about your last job? And what do you think of SB Reselling? Obviously, I love SB Reselling, first of all. So do I miss anything about my last job? The only thing I will say I miss is having people around to talk to throughout the working day, which is why partly I'm part of the reselling group I'm in, because they have a Zoom room that is called a 24-hour room. So you can go in there, everyone's working away, but you can chat to people, you can ask questions, and it's just that interaction around you. But I would say that's the biggest thing I miss, because I looked after the recruitment for the whole business and there was about 300 people in the company. I had lots of interactions with different line managers, and I obviously interviewed all the new recruits coming in. So I do miss that part of the interaction, but I found a way now, although it's over Zoom, I found a way now to combat the part I was missing. And actually jumping in the Zoom room is really cool because you can turn your camera off if you're busy. You can turn your camera on, you can chat, and people understand that sometimes you have to say, right, I've got to crack on now. They're not offended because everyone is in the same boat. So I'll just jump back into the chat here. Okay, so Football Legends is in, a new name to me. So apologies if you have been in before, but welcome if not. So yeah, Chris, you're spot on. So running a channel alongside your Reseller 5 business, I find got to be careful that it doesn't take over your life. Yeah, absolutely. I found, Chris, that in week 3 it was when things started to get a bit more traction. I came in the shed here and I was more focused about what YouTube content I can think of and produce compared to actually reselling. And I had to check myself. It took a couple of days for me to check myself to say, hold on a second, eBay is what's paying the bills, YouTube isn't. And I think you need to be careful because the YouTube part can be really fun. The listing 10 items a day sometimes isn't as fun. So yeah, you've got to really think about that. And the taking over your life thing, I don't mind admitting, for the first 7 weeks, it kind of has at times. I kind of become a bit obsessed with the let me see if I can show people here, the YouTube Studio app. This one here, which basically updates constantly. And I was constantly doing this, constantly scrolling on the app just to see, you know, every second of the day whether I've got any more likes or any more subscribers. So yeah, I think you're spot on, Chris. I think you need to be really careful of that part. Yeah, bold finds, I like it. I'm slow sometimes, but finally put together after your wife just commented. Yeah, absolutely. So my surname's Bolding. The bold finds thing comes from a mixture of two things. So I used to work in recruitment, and obviously the finding thing was finding candidates, and also you find things while you're reselling out and about. So yeah, when I first started, I wanted to think of a creative name. I had to have the surname in there somewhere because the surname's really important to me, and the finds bit links in well. So yeah, that's why bold finds. Yeah, so 2 people say I look like Ed China. I don't know who Ed China is, so I'm going to have to look at that after. I'm going to make a note to look up Ed China after. So Secret Carpenter, hi, hope we are all well. Football Legends, how old am I? Well, I know I look about 22, but I'm not. I'm 34 years of age today. So yeah, 34. Someone said I was a double of Jurgen Klopp before, which a bit insulting. I can't see it, Steve. I have to have another look on your Instagram and look at a closer picture. Yeah, I can't see Jurgen Klopp. But Liverpool had a right old result. Was it last night? I can't remember now. On night before one the night. Last night, I think it was, scoring in the last minute. But no, I can't see the Jurgen Klopp. Politics, that's why they took it away. I'm confused, Landon. I might have missed something here. I'm so confused. So Breeded Cart Puller, I've been reselling for up to a year now, and also hence the name make fishing YouTube videos. But what's free perks from making YouTube channel? Free negatives. Yeah, so I think what you're saying there is you are going to get the negative side. I think everyone gets negatives. I don't think anyone picks out the positive comments. But if you're asking me about my free perks from making YouTube channel and the free negatives, I can think of that. So one of the perks I would say is I like sharing what I do because a lot of people don't understand that. And I think first things first, when I started the channel, I wanted probably family members first of all to see what I do, because when I started to channel, my first thing was to say to family members, look, I've started a channel, I put up my first video. If you've got nothing better to do, give it a watch and stuff, because I wanted them to understand a bit more, because a lot of people in the past have said, you know, what kind of things do you do, what kind of things do you buy, etc. And the response has been pretty good. I've had people message me. My brother's wife has messaged me and said, what is that thing on the floor there? Why didn't you buy this? Or how do you know what to buy? And some of them questions are coming up actually. So that is one of the perks I would say. I enjoy the fact of I can be myself on the channel. It's my channel. I've got no one dictating to me what content I put out. And also, I enjoy meeting other resellers. So over Zoom on my coffee pod on Monday, I'm really enjoying the live chats with people because everyone's journey is different. I've got someone coming up on Monday in America. I'm going to put out the thumbnail this weekend, and he's got a really interesting story. And I won't spoil it, but it's something to do with Facebook Marketplace and how he done something on Facebook Marketplace that completely changes eBay business. So I just like people's stories. I like learning about people. I think part of that comes from the recruiter in me, and I like interviewing people and I like finding out about other people. So negatives, I think Chris pointed out earlier, you can be completely consumed with YouTube and it can take over your life. I have I've had sleepless nights, waking up in the morning at 2 o'clock in the morning, thinking about YouTube ideas and having to go on my phone to make notes, and you can't get back to sleep and you feel rubbish the next day. So it can really consume you. The negative, of course, the negative comments, they're not great to read, but you kind of have to have thick skin if you're going to do YouTube. I've learned that pretty quickly. If you take it to heart, you might stop doing videos and no one wants that, and neither do yourself. So yeah, there's some negatives, but I would say all in all, my first 7 weeks, I found it really interesting to run a YouTube channel alongside reselling as well. So Santa, 34 today. Happy birthday, James. You were born 17 days after Mrs. Claus and I got married. Well, I thought Mrs. Claus was a bit older, but maybe that's someone else. I might be getting confused. Oh, okay. Sorry. Please don't talk about Liverpool. Massive Newcastle fan, Rob, last night. Absolutely. There was a few extra added minutes, but I won't talk about football. I don't want to upset anyone. I'm an Arsenal fan, so it's going well this season anyway, compared to before. Yeah, so this was a question. How do you know what to look for at a car boot sale? I get this a lot. People say, where have you got your knowledge from? Have you spent hours studying? And the truth of the matter is, the answer is yes. I have spent hours of studying in the sense of watching other people's YouTube channels. So Nick Hills, George Ross, Chris, Peter Ray's Adventures, Sales in the Unexpected. I can name endless channels. I mean, back from Burnout Mail with books, Chatty Pete. I can name so many channels. Married to Reselling, the guys are great. I can keep going. But watching other people's channels has helped me to work out what kind of things to look out for. So, for instance, you might have seen at the weekend I picked up a Furby. You might then go out this weekend and say to yourself, I'm going to keep my eyes out for a Furby, which is always really good to do. But be careful, because sometimes you'll watch people's channels and what they pick up at car boot sales, but people make mistakes. So I always say, do your own research. Don't be scared to ask someone how much something is, an item, and don't be scared to step away slightly and do your research on the eBay app. The eBay app's really good for that. Now, sometimes I will stand if I'm speaking to the person, have a quick look at my phone, but normally I try to walk away where possible. But I've made many mistakes in the future where I've walked away, another reseller or someone else has come over, picked up the item, and it's sold, it's gone, and you've missed out on a really good item. So sometimes take the risk. If it's £5 or even £10 and you think it might do okay, you'll see in my videos a lot of the time, I will just make a decision based on my knowledge. But when you first start, the best thing to do is set yourself a budget, to use the eBay app to do research, to take a few risks now and again and make mistakes, because the more mistakes you make, the more you will realize what not to pick up. And I have made hundreds of mistakes of pickups. I will continue to do so. I brought a DVD player this weekend. It looks sealed to me. I realized that actually it's just their own sellotape. I opened it up and it's not a DVD player, it's a VHS player. So again, without checking at the car boot, you assume things. That's a mistake I've made. So you will constantly make mistakes. So my advice would be just go for it. Set yourself a small budget, learn the ropes, and try to grow slowly when you are listing things up. Oh, okay, Landon, I'm with you. I'm talking about the thumbs down button on YouTube. Yeah, I said they have removed it now. And yeah, politics. Yeah, so that's probably why they have removed it. I don't know if I agree with it, because I think you want a true realization of how so much channel's doing, and the thumbs down, people aren't going to like all your videos and stuff as well. So I didn't mind it when I was there, but I think when I started my channel, I think they had just changed it and took it away. F2A bargains, hi, welcome. What's your YouTube live setup? I've not been brave enough to do any lives. It's very amateur, to be honest. I've got one AirPod in because I have lost the other AirPod. I say lost it. It's in our bedroom somewhere. I fell asleep with it in. Worst mistake ever. Don't ever do that. I saw in the tracking it showed in the bedroom at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we can't find it. We've checked everywhere, and we have 2 cats, so we don't know whether the cat has either hid it or hopefully not ate it. But yeah, so I normally have my AirPods in just because I think the sound comes out a bit better. I have a basic ring light, and that is it. And I use my MacBook for what I use for eBay. In the future, when we move house, I would like to get an area where I can actually have a proper YouTube studio. I love a nice background. It doesn't have to be really posh, but just something a bit nicer compared to looking at all my junk behind me. But yeah, so my advice would be just use whatever area you've got. The most important thing is a good connection, and where possible, good lighting. I mean, you can pick up these ring lights now off Amazon for about 12 quid. And that is all you need. So yeah, don't be put off doing a live or anything because you feel you haven't got the equipment. And in time, you can upgrade your equipment. I've been looking at microphones, and now I've hit the 1,000 subs. I might get to the stage where I might treat myself to that as a kind of reward for hitting 1,000 subs. But I'm in no immediate rush for that kind of thing. My main thing is growing the eBay business and having that YouTube alongside it to hopefully in the future grow as well. But yeah, my advice would be just go for it. Yeah, so you can actually make money from YouTube. And this is one thing that I can't advise on because I don't know how to make money yet, because it only was this morning I become monetized. So I've hit over the 4,000 watch hours, and I'm over the 1,000 subs now, which means you can then apply to YouTube to be monetized. And it's really good because you can then kind of carry on doing what you're doing, not change anything. And YouTube will reward you then for your videos. And I think it's all based on views and adverts. But as I say, I don't want to give advice because I've been messaging Mel this morning to basically say next time we're in a YouTube call, I want to pick your brains a bit about that, because honestly, I've not even thought about that. And when I started the channel, I said to the wife initially, if I can get to 1,000 subs in a year, I would be gobsmacked. And that's what I said to her. And yeah, 7 weeks, honestly, I'm just, my head's gone. I'm actually blown away by it. So yeah, you can get paid. I don't know the ins and outs on it. So maybe someone else can give a bit of advice on that if they know a bit more. So another question I had before was, do you look every item up before you buy? And the answer is no, I don't. But I will sometimes look things up if I'm not sure or if the price is too high. For instance, if I go up to a store, and I'll use the Furby as the example again, only because it's the closest thing to me. So if I looked at this Furby here and I asked someone how much it was and they said £15, I'd probably think to myself, is it working? It's quite an old one. Sometimes the battery compartments on these Furbies are knackered. So I'll do a test just to see if it's working. No batteries in it, it's not working, or no batteries in it, you have to make that decision. Then I would decide whether it's worth looking it up. The woman on the said to me it's one of the original ones. It's not. But if you didn't know that, you might think, oh, it's an original Furby. It's £15. I know they could go for £100 potentially. Let me buy it. So, for instance, that Furby was £5, so it wasn't a risk. Anything over £10, I start to think about looking things up. If it's anything that I've sold before, you don't need to, as long as you know the market hasn't completely dropped. And that's also really important. I'll give you an example. During the first lockdown, Nintendo Wii, you can sell Nintendo Wii and a couple of like basic games for £100, and they were selling every single hour of the day on eBay. and I flipped a few of them for that kind of money. Now, if you pick up a Nintendo Wii and a couple of basic games, you're struggling to get 20, £25. But if you didn't know that and you watched, say, a video back in lockdown one and you saw everyone picking up these Wiis, you might go to a car boot and they're everywhere at the car boot. And you might pick up 10 Nintendo Wiis and you might pay a couple of £100 and feel, oh, I'm in the money here. And you'll quickly realize that the prices completely fell out of them because everyone's gone back to some kind of normality where they're not stuck in at home. They're back to working life. The kids are back at school. So they don't need that entertainment. So yeah, always do your research 100%. But I don't tend to look up every item. I probably look up one or two at a car boot sale now, but that's because I've got the knowledge. So yeah, okay, you need 100 subscribers. Yeah, you need 100 subscribers and it's 4,000 watch hours. And talk of the devil and she shall arrive. Mel, thank you so much. I mentioned Mel, I think, in every single video, and that's because she has been so supportive to me. I have asked Mel the most basic YouTube questions, and she has put up with me. She hasn't rolled her eyes, and she's been really supportive. Not just on that, before even I thought about YouTube, picking up all these books. There's only one person I'd want to speak to about picking up a book bundle. And yeah, I can't say enough for Mel. She's been absolutely fantastic and so supportive. And to receive a message from her first thing this morning where it's basically, oh my God, your video's gone viral. It means a lot. So yeah, Mel, I know it's late your end. I think it's about 10:30 now where you are. So I appreciate you popping in. I really do. So yeah, hi Mel. So bearded cart picker, bearded cart puller, not picker. I'm thinking of reselling again. Is asking, how did I get into reselling? Yeah, great question. So I kind of fell into reselling without falling into it. So I was working for a company. I'd been doing recruitment for 12 years or so. And when COVID hit here in the UK, we were put into lockdown and a lot of people were made redundant instantly. And I was put on the furlough scheme. And I was on the furlough scheme for about 5 months here. And honestly, it was soul destroying because people who were at work were saying to me, oh, you're so lucky. You're basically sitting at home and you're still getting paid 80% of your salary and the rest of it. But mentally for me, it was absolutely soul destroying. I felt useless. I felt like I didn't have a place. And on the Thursday, they started inviting people back into work. And on the Thursday, I got a text from the line manager at the time, basically saying to me, oh, are you free tomorrow for a Zoom catch up? And my heart went. I knew at that moment that I was going to be made redundant. I just had the feeling. Anyway, jumped on the Zoom call, was made redundant, and didn't know what to do. You know, we live in the house, we've got a mortgage, we've got bills to pay. The redundancy pay was generous. I don't mind admitting. I had some money in the background, but I knew with my recruitment knowledge, I can kind of walk into most places because they were hiring still for recruiters. Anyway, so I joined a recruitment company. I joined on the Monday, and by the time it got back to the Wednesday or Thursday, I spoke to Leanne, my wife, and I said, I'm really not enjoying it. And do you know what I want to do? I want to do reselling because I've tried a little bit before selling my own stuff, etc. And I really enjoyed it. And her advice to me was, what have you got to lose? You have 13 odd years recruitment experience behind you. You have some redundancy money set aside, which will pay the bills. Worst case scenario, you do eBay for 3 or 4 months. You spend all your redundancy money on the bills and stuff because you haven't made any money and you have to go back to a recruitment job. That is the worst case. But her advice was, I believe in you. I believe you can do it. And so, yeah, I literally went into work on the Tuesday. I went to the boss and said, you know what, it's really not for me. I want to go a different route now. They said to me, well, if you don't work your week's notice, I'm not going to pay you. And I was like, I don't need pay and I just don't enjoy it. And mentally for me, it was draining. So I come back and literally then started reselling and have loved it since. So yeah, that's how I got on. A bit of a long-worded story, but I think a lot of people either have it in them to resell and really enjoy it from a young age. I think going to the car boot sales with family members at a young age has really got me into that sales mentality behind me. But yeah, honestly, now I couldn't think of anything better to do. As I said before, Mel is the reason I joined the group, and I'm going into my 3rd month now in the group, thanks to Mel. Yeah, absolutely. She supported so many people. I was saying to people the other day, and I said to Mel this morning that Mel could do an hour YouTube video where she makes a cup of tea, she stirs it twice, sits it down the desk, and sits there drinking it. and people would still watch that video because people watch Mel for Mel. And that's the most important thing, I think, when it comes to your YouTube channel. Be yourself 100%, because there's going to be people who do not like you. There's going to be people who absolutely love you. But as long as you're yourself, you can maintain that. If you try and come on here and try and be someone you're not, your master's going to slip at some point, and that's going to show. So yeah, I think Mel's a reason a lot of people have joined that group, but also why I said one of the main reasons I joined YouTube, because her videos are absolutely amazing. Ian, great question. Do I remember my first sale? I do. And I have got a spreadsheet. And funnily enough, I do line by line accounting on a spreadsheet. So every single item I sell goes on the spreadsheet. And I have to dig it up another time to double check. But I believe, and don't quote me on this, I believe it was one of them duck hair dryers. I think they're called Primer. I might have made that up. About that size, duck shape, and it was a hair dryer. And that was my first sale as a business. And not my first personal sale, stuff around the house, but as a business, yeah, it was that. But if I'm wrong, I will double check that. And I will let you know in another live and stuff. But I believe it was. But I've got it on the spreadsheet anyway. But yeah, you always meant to remember your first sale. But when you're saying about my first big sale, I went to a jumble trail. And I saw some weird musical instrument, and I forgot for my life what it's called now. But it was kind of like a guitar, but not a guitar. It was really like an organ. It's really strange. I can't explain it. Anyway, so the woman wanted £40, and I thought, you know what, it looks good. The box is all there, etc. And I picked it up, and yeah, literally brought it home and realised it's quite sought after. And it sold for £390 the next day. So £40 into £390, and that was one of my first big sales that I do remember. But there's been lots of big sales over the time. There's been lots of low sales as well, so it's very hard to keep up. So yeah, Mel's saying wonderful, glad you like it and get value. I think a lot of people do, and Mel's blushing as well because we're all saying nice things about it. So we'll stop there. Oh, Paul, so it was you on Saturday. So funny story here. So I was walking around the car boot sale on Saturday, and someone walked past me and said, "Hi, James." And I speak to quite a few other resellers at the car boot sale. And Paul walked past and said, "Hi, James." And I looked at him a bit confused at first. And I was like, "Oh, hi, like, who are you?" kind of thing. And then Paul said to me, he watches the YouTube videos. And I was over the moon, because that's the first person I've seen who's actually said, like, I watch your videos and stuff. And I've never felt more famous in my life. It was crazy. Anyway, come home and told the wife, and she didn't believe me because I didn't have it on the GoPro. She was like, "No, I think you're making it up." So if she's not still watching now, I'll show her this later. So yeah, Paul, good to see you. I'm not at that boot sale on Saturday. I'm down in Exmouth this weekend visiting family. So I'll see you in a week or so's time if you're there. Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, it's tough at times, and I'm glad I'm making it work. I'm glad I've made a business for myself is the most important thing. I feel proud about that. I sometimes have to stop myself and actually give myself a bit of credit as well, because I spoke to Mel this morning. I spoke to my little brother as well, and I said I feel like I've got imposter syndrome at the moment when it comes to YouTube. I feel like a fraud because I'm just being me and I'm just showing what I'm buying and what I'm doing. But I had a bit of a moment earlier where I just said to myself, no, give yourself a bit more credit. And actually, people are watching your videos because of the content you're putting out and the work you're doing behind the scenes, and also yourself as well. So, no, look, I do appreciate that. I don't take praise as well, but no, I do. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Landon. If you haven't already, yeah, hit that like button for my present. That is the best present you can all give me, by hitting the like button, whether you pop in for 1 minute or whether you stay for the whole stream. Yeah, if you could like the video, it does help. I don't want to go on to the whole thing, or please like and subscribe and push the bell button. I probably gone about that a bit too much, but yeah, if you could do that, is great. I think James just giving away the subject of your next video, Mel. I'd watch you drink tea. Yeah, absolutely. Mel, if you make a video of you drinking tea for an hour, we're going to have words, because that is my idea. And once I get to Mel's level, I think I don't even know now what Mel's on. Let me have a quick look. I know at one point she was, I think, on the 20K. Let me just have a look here. Yeah, just over 20K. So yeah, once I get to Mel's level 20K, I promise you I will do a video of me drinking a cup of tea for an hour and just see how many dislikes and likes we get on that one. My brother's in, Nath. Happy birthday, bro. Thank you. He has to listen to my YouTube stuff as well. He watches the videos, but I walked into his room the other week before I started YouTube, and I saw him watching other YouTuber videos, and I'm like, why are you watching Brum Reseller? Why are you watching Ricky Resell? And he was like, how do you know these people? And I was like, this is what I watch all in my spare time. Yeah, absolutely, Mel. That would be an easy video. And like your, I was saying to Leanne about your AMSR one the other week where you didn't feel so great and you literally just filmed yourself packing orders. People love that kind of thing as well because they will come on and watch you. So yeah, get that tea video made. More praise for Mel. We love this. You're absolutely right about Mel and being yourself. You can't maintain an audience without being authentic. Absolutely. And the YouTubers who do really well are exactly that. You know, I like seeing, like, for instance, Nick and Andrea, you know who they are and you kind of can relate to them. And there's no airs and graces about them. They show their journey and people like watching them and they built that up because they're just who they are. Same as Mel, you know, on Mel's channel, you see about her life. It's not just about this are the good books I picked up, these are the good books I sold. You see the whole part and you can actually really relate. Yorkshire Mix, thanks for joining. Thank you for the happy birthday as well. Chop Chops in, everyone. As I said before, the second best name on YouTube behind Bum Crack Picker. So thank you for joining. How am I going to celebrate my birthday? That's a good question. So quite boring in a way. So this morning I had a bit of a lie in. I come and done some eBay stuff down the shed. I joined Mel's call in the group. I've got my listings already prepared. As I mentioned, I've done them at the start of the week. So I've got my drafts up. I've just done my packaging because I do 1 day dispatch. And then I moved all of my other items onto 2 day because we're driving down this evening to Exmouth to see my brother and his wife. They've just had a baby. So really excited to meet Harper, my niece. And then we're going to spend the weekend down there. So I've already scouted out whether there's a car boot sale tomorrow. There's not, but there's 2 on Saturday. And I think we're probably going to head back on Saturday evening and not Sunday morning. So I'm going to plan to do a bit of a vlog style of the travel down there and boot sales down that end. A bit of a different video just to see if it works and see whether I enjoy doing that kind of day in the life, but weekend in life. How else am I going to celebrate my birthday? I'm not sure. I'm hoping if she's still watching, the wife's going to bring home a lovely cake for me. But apart from that, it's going to be just traveling down tonight. And I think there'll be more of a celebration tomorrow when we're down in Exmouth because there's a few people down there as well. And my brother's wife's mum and dad put on a really good meal as well. So we were well fed. So yeah, I think more of the celebration is going to come tomorrow and I can relax a bit this weekend. Carl. So Carl, I haven't cleaned my whole back garden, but I have removed the bouncy castle. So Carl's in the Reseller Nirvana group as well, and he's my accountability partner from the US. And the other day I was showing him my shed and he saw into my back garden and he saw a bouncy castle I bought from the car boot sale just sitting there on the floor. And Leanne will tell you it's been sitting there for weeks. And Carl said to me, I need to tidy it up. It's not fair. And I completely agree it wasn't. And this morning when I come on, he asked me if he could see my garden, and it was still sitting there. So yeah, I've now got rid of the bouncy castle, Cole, and yeah, we're going to be accountability partners, and we've both agreed that September is going to be a really good month for us on eBay. Where am I based? I'm based in Surrey. The best way to describe it is not too far from Heathrow Airport. If you're not from the UK, especially, people kind of can relate to where Heathrow Airport is. So I'm in a town called Addlestone. So yeah, not far from Guildford and Heathrow Airport, etc. That's right, Landon. Carl is in the house and he's so proud of me. Yeah, as I said, Carl, I will tell the wife it was your idea. I won't take all the credit to move that bounce castle because when she comes home, she'll see I've done that. So let me see if there's any more questions my end. So last question I've got my end, and as I said, if anyone's got any questions about eBay or YouTube, please pop them in. More than happy to answer. I'm no expert myself, as I mentioned, but if I can give any advice or even give people encouragement to start their own channel, I definitely will do so. So what has surprised you the most about starting a YouTube channel? I think today. I think waking up this morning and realizing what I have achieved in 7 weeks has surprised me the most because in my wildest dreams, I never thought I would get there. And that is sincere from me. It's not me saying this to try and get people to say, well done, congratulations. So don't take praise that well. But I'm proud of that. And what surprised me most about starting a YouTube channel is how much I actually do genuinely enjoy it. I like making the videos. I like doing the editing side. It can be long-winded at times. I like being creative with the thumbnails. I've never been that creative type, so sometimes I will sit there with a thumbnail and a title and think about it for an hour before I even create it, and then when I've made it, I might change it again as well. But I like the community. I like the fact that now we've got 35 people in the live chat who are happy to come and talk to me, because again, I always get really worried about the live chat, especially because I don't want to sit here and speak to myself. I don't want to have to end the live chat after 5 minutes because I'm the only one here, and there's no point really talking to people if they're not here. So yeah, I appreciate everyone who follows, subscribes, or even the people who don't necessarily subscribe at the moment, but people who actually take the time to watch the videos, because I appreciate, to subscribe to someone, you kind of need to really buy into what they're doing. So if you don't subscribe already, please do. But if you're not at a point already where I've given you enough to subscribe, then hold off and just watch more of my videos in the future, and there might be something you do enjoy. We'll go back to that one. So yeah, Cole has given me so many wise words. Yeah, absolutely. He's a wise man, Cole. He's a real character, but he's very knowledgeable. He worked in the auction game for many years, so he knows a lot about auctions and reselling as well. And he's an absolute genius. So yeah, I love him being my accountability partner. Oh, Chop Chop, not far from me in Woking. Interesting. I didn't know you were in Woking. So yeah, that's where I used to work, actually, funny enough, in Woking. So we probably go to the same car boot sales at times, potentially. I probably walk past you a million times and you pass me, and we wouldn't have a clue. But I'm not sure whether you go to Apps Court. I go to that one a few times, and I know Rich Night's Life goes to that one as well. But yeah, let me know, even if you don't want to let me know on here, because sometimes people don't want to say what boot sales they go to give the game away. But even if you drop me a message, let me know. And yeah, I'd love to say hello to you in person one time. Oh, great question. I'm happy to answer any questions. Doesn't have to be eBay or YouTube. This is good. No eBay questions, but if you could jam with one music star, who would it be, dead or alive? So what I can tell you is, great question, because I love my music. I do I DJ on the side of eBay and YouTube live now, as a bit of a hobby. Again, I'm not a great DJ. I normally get booked in for the family parties, and that's about it. But I really enjoy it, so I really do like my music. What I can say is who my favorite artist is, and has been for many years, and that is The Weeknd. And I don't know if people in the chat will know The Weeknd. People might have heard his songs on. It's gone a bit more mainstream now, but I like his older albums. And yeah, I'm a massive Weeknd fan. So if I could sing or even play a musical instrument with The Weeknd, that would be my dream. So yeah, that would be my answer. This made me laugh when I was saying that. DJ Bold Finds. So my actual eBay name is DJ eBay, believe it or not. And the family love that because it's kind of links into me being a full-time eBay reseller. So yeah, it's DJ eBay. As I say, I am not a proper DJ, so I'm not taking bookings. Although one of my friends put on Facebook Marketplace when someone was asking about booking a DJ for a birthday party and tagged me in it, and they asked me how much I charge, etc. But I'm definitely not. Definitely not on eBay. Sorry, definitely not a DJ that people can book. I just do it on the side. So yeah, that made me laugh. Yeah, so you're part of the Reseller Nirvana group, so there's plenty of us in there. What my advice would be when you are first starting is try and join that 24-hour room when you can. There's lots of good people in there who will give you advice. And hold on, let me just. Oh, sorry, stock's dropping everywhere. Yeah, so I would say join the 24-hour room. There's lots of people who can give you advice, and sometimes it is that. Sometimes it is just someone to say to you, set your schedule, set your listing goal, and get your listings up. But sometimes you need a bit of a kick yourself for someone to say, how many have you done today? And you might be a couple behind, and that might be all you needed for someone just to give you a kick up the arse, as it were. Just up the road from George Rosslin, pick at the boot sale. Yeah, there's always plenty at a car boot sale. There's always that fear, isn't there? If you're not the first one through the gates, you're not going to find anything that day. But everyone doesn't know everything, and some people might walk past things that you know about as well. And also, you can't afford to buy everything, so you've got to be more selective. So yeah, I find there's lots of resellers I speak to at the car boot sale, and we stand and have a chat, and there's never any of that competition of let me get that, I saw that first. We never have any of that. It's more of a chat about how's your week going, how's eBay, how's life in general. And there's been many a time other resellers have come up to me and said, here, I bought you a little something. You can put something in my trolley. That they've gone and thought, you know what, I'll give that to James to sell. And I've done the same for them. I picked us up for a couple of quid and said, you know more about this than me. Here we are, have it. So it's about building that friendship at the car boot sale. You can sometimes feel it could be a competition, but it doesn't have to be. And I find actually building that relationship with other resellers is really good because they will give you stuff and they will give you ideas of where to go. One of the other resellers told me where a good auction is that I go to now most weeks. So, you know, it's worth speaking to people. Yeah, Chop Chop. I thought you might. Yeah, go to apps every week. I tend to go to another one now on a Sunday, but I will visit apps. And yeah, if you recognise my face when I'm walking around, please do come and say hello. It'd be good to meet you. Yeah, great idea. So Peter Sales of the Unexpected does a listing league that I'm in as well, and that's helped me keep a bit more accountable as well. So I've been doing 70 listings, and then what we do is talk about how many listings we've had and how many items have sold that week as well. So yeah, it's definitely worth doing. If you need accountability, there's plenty of places you can go for that. But follow Sales of the Unexpected on YouTube because he will ask you to submit your figures, and it keeps you on track. It does help, because it can be a lonely job at times, reselling. Okay, so any question, would you rather have finger-sized legs or leg-sized fingers? Okay, so we've hit this point now. We're 55 minutes in and my brother's asking this kind of question. So finger-sized legs. I'm going to have finger-sized legs. I don't mind having small legs and being really short because I can still then pick up things with my fingers. So yeah, finger-sized legs. Love the weekend, the end of the week, and the musician. Yeah, absolutely. The classic joke with the weekend. It's spelled differently, but I'll let you have that one, Santa. Virginia Water for me, start your vinyl collection, Mr. DJ. Yeah, so I don't do proper DJing with vinyls. It's all via the MacBook, and I've got a set of Pioneer decks that plug in and stuff. And I use different sites to download music to play as well. But as I say, you're not missing out on much anyone. It's nothing special. One time what I'll do is post a little bit of a video, maybe of a family party of me doing a bit of DJ. I've got all the gear, no idea. I actually bought some new lights at the car boot this weekend, which look a lot better than my current lights. I've got a smoke machine, which is great. The kids in the family absolutely love that. But yeah, I just do it a bit of fun. But yeah, next time I'm doing it, I'll do a little video to post on my channel just so people can see how bad it actually is. Love to see the DJ intro in one of your films. Maybe I'll do that then, Neil. That's maybe not a bad shout. It might turn people off, though. I might start losing subscribers and they might not watch the video because it is that awful. But we'll give it a go. I'm sure I'll do something, or maybe when I get better. Yes, it would be tough listing with leg fingers. Absolutely. That's why I went for the shorter legs. I don't mind being short. You know, I can get a little stool or something, I guess. But yeah, imagine having leg fingers. Easier to go through the rummage boxes of little legs. Yeah, absolutely. And you can also get between people's legs at the car boot sale. You can push your way in. So that makes sense. Mel, I'm reading it from StreamYard. Is there comments on YouTube as well? And if so, how do they come through? I thought YouTube draws through these comments. I believe so. Let me know if I'm doing something wrong. Or maybe you're just asking for advice for one of your lives. I don't know. Let me know, Mel. Yeah, that's it. You got it. He drops the third E, doesn't he? Yeah, no, spot on. I think, unless it's a joke, Sancho, I'm not getting it. But yeah, that's the right spelling of the weekends. Same comments on YouTube. I was just going to show you how to do something. Okay. Talk me through it, Mel, or maybe we can talk about it another time as well. Always keen to learn. And you're a pro at this kind of thing. I'm still new. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, as I say, I just wanted to pop on today as a real thank you. Today's stream was meant to be for my birthday. I didn't expect to be at the 1,000 subs today. It's worked out perfect timing that it has happened today on my birthday. It's the best present I can hope for. Hold on. Just reading a comment from Mel. Go to your YouTube chat. Is there other comments on YouTube that aren't showing up? Sorry, everyone. That's probably a bit boring for you, but I need to learn this. Yeah. Okay, I'm on it, Mel. Oh, are you saying it's easier to read it from another screen? Oh, okay. Mel, I understand you now. I get it. See, this is why I need more advice from Mel. This is why I need to spend more time with Mel going through YouTube because she's an absolute pro. Um, yeah, I see. Sorry, let me jump back to this comment. Yo, James, how are we doing? First time catching one of your lives. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. As I say, it's a bit all over the place today because um, I I still can't get my head around the fact of I've hit the 1,000 subs already. It's crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Today feels weird to me. I woke up this morning not feeling human in a weird way. And I know it sounds a bit silly to some people, but yeah, it's just a strange feeling today. I'm absolutely over the moon, but I'm also really confused. So yeah, thank you for popping in. Hopefully the next live's going to be on Monday. I've got someone from the US coming on. Really interesting story. So hopefully I'm a bit more with it then. So no, I appreciate you coming in. Okay, cool. Santa wasn't joking. I'm just getting confused today. Yeah, Mel is a genius. Absolutely. She's giving me more tips here. Next to my name, press the three dots on the right. Okay, let's give this a go, Mel. I'm going to do it on the browser. Okay, so if I open this up, next to Mel's name, three dots on the right. Okay, now what, Mel? Click the three dots. Guys, this is the content you didn't expect you would get. Mel giving us all coaching on how to use StreamYard. This is great. This is worth coming in for. Yes, I agree. Let's get Mel to the UK. Ah, okay. Add. Okay, I'm with you, Mel. Is that it, Mel? Have I done that? I think we're there, Mel. I think Mel is my first. I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. Mel, you're my first spanner. I think that's the way. There we are. Give Mel a spanner. Amazing. Thank you, Mel, for being my spanner. And yeah, going back to Steve's comment, yeah, we should get Mel to the UK. I'm really, I really can't wait until in our reselling group we're in, where they can find an event that is easy for everyone to get to, and it's really hard for America, from the UK and Australia to find somewhere everyone can go and meet up as well. Because I know a lot of the American people went to FlipCon at the weekend and stuff, and they had a really good time. And it was nice to see videos of them all meeting each other in person as well. Limelight, you deserve the 1,000 subs, James. You worked hard and taught me a lot. I really do appreciate it. And as I said earlier, thank you so much for your support. You are in, I think, 99% of my lives. People like you have really helped me gain the confidence to keep going. So, yeah, thank you so much. First book bundle pickup this morning after watching your channel. We'll see how it goes. Any advice on bundling? Thinking by author like yourself. Yeah, so we have the book expert in here. Might be able to give you a bit more advice, and I learned from her. My advice would be if you've got the same authors, do bundles. Let me show you an example. And if you hear crashing, it's because of my stock dropping down here. So what I've done, I picked up some more books at the weekend, and I've got this Lee Child bundle. And so, yeah, I bundled them all up. I wrapped them in the shrink wrap to keep them all together. And then what I've done for the SKU, I stuck on one of these sticky labels here. So I know in my SKU of 453. So when it comes to this selling, in my SKU, it's 453. I know exactly what bundle to pick up and they're out the door. And then I'll either put these in a box if they're too big or just in a long, one of these kite mailing bags, which are bubbled. But yeah, well done on picking up your first book bundle. As I said, I went straight for it at 4,000 and I do not regret it. And I thought I might at the time, but if you pick them up cheap enough, there's really good money, even in the UK for books. So yeah, well done. And let me know how you get on, keep in touch with me and let me know how you're selling them and how they're doing. But yeah, book bundles are the way forward, unless there's some real rare books in there. I found a couple of Stephen Kings in there which went for nearly £100 each. It's crazy. So yeah, keep your eyes open for the likes of Stephen King. You can do a quick scan if you're not sure, but most of them will be better as a bundle. And just look at comparisons on eBay solds and also the active listings as well. Mel has the power. Yeah, absolutely. And now she's taught me how to add spanners. So again, I'm learning every single day. So speaking about Peter earlier, sales in unexpected, he's been another really good support of the channel. He shouted me out on many of his lives as well. So the fact I've hit the 1,000 subs is partly down to him as well. So Pete, thank you for joining. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the listing league now, and it's not a competition. It's not a proper league table as it was, but it's really good for accountability. So yeah, go and give Pete a follow if you don't already, and send your numbers in for next week's listing league. Me and him are quite similar in the sense of we are both trying to list 70 items a week. Sometimes we do a little bit more by mistake. I mean, I know I had a couple on last week and the week before as well. So yeah, if you don't follow, please do. Yeah, good shout, Mel. I will add some more spanners. There's quite a few people who I recognise names now, who I can add in. Yeah, thank you, Pete. I know you messaged me yesterday and you said to me, I want to be the first to congratulate you because I know you're going to get there by the end of the week. So yeah, I woke up this morning, Pete, and yeah, my mind's blown with that. And also the YouTube video, which has gone a bit viral now. And looking at that now, if I refresh the page, we are on 75,000 views on that video, and it's been out 2 weeks. And yeah, for the life of me, I don't know why. I'm still trying to get my head around it, but it's gone crazy. So appreciate that. Yeah, thank you again. Thanks to everyone saying well done on the 1,000 subs. I didn't expect to get here anywhere near this time. I said from the outset I expected to be at least a year if I was to even get that. And when I first started the channel, I thought I'd be lucky to get 10 subscribers who weren't family members, because obviously the family members jumped in straight away. But yeah, I'm blown away by the support I've had. So thank you all. Neil, thank you so much. I like our chats, Neil. We love Packlink, me and Neil. We're the Packlink advocates. And I'm definitely joking when I say that. We don't like Packlink, but to my sins, I'm still using them. So I need a new shipping supplier because I need to move away from Packlink. But Neil's really good when it comes to cameras as well. I've sent him a few things before when it comes to cameras. So if you've got any camera questions, Neil's your man. Yes, Steve, spot on. So book bundles are great. I'm really enjoying selling the books, and I listed the 4,000 books in about 4 weeks because I was doing bundles. So it didn't take much time at all. And when you're listing one item, it's much easier to then stick it in, just keep listing. So amazing. Yeah. Okay, so scan some of them books. I saw yesterday there is a Stephen King book, and I can't remember the name of it. I believe it begins with R, and it's very rare. It's about a school shooting, I believe. Anyway, scan the books because this book here is going for around £1,000 in bad condition. So I need to remember the name of it. Risk, maybe? I don't know 100%. I'll try and remember it before the end of the chat. But yeah, scan the books. Yeah, the £100 one was a first edition. It had a limited cover. So the cover of it was different to the other ones. So when I first searched the Stephen King book on eBay, I couldn't find the exact cover, and I Google lensed it and found it's a very rare book. And that's why it was so much. So yeah, use eBay as your guide, use Google Lens, but definitely have a look out for some of the older Stephen King books because some of them are absolutely crazy money. As I said, this one I saw what sold for £1,000 was in such bad condition, a paperback. But because it's kind of that taboo subject and it's kind of rare as a book, they do go for good money. So the fact you picked up Stephen King, you'll do absolutely well. Yeah, absolutely. Mel told me exactly the same this morning, Pete. I've sent off the monetization form, as it were. They said it could take up to a week, but yeah, hopefully it comes back today because if that video keeps growing, I want to make sure I make the most of that. Flipping Maggie, hi. Thank you so much for popping in and thank you for the congratulations. And there's the book, Rage. That is a Stephen King book to look out for. So there's a bolo for everyone here. Unless you're at my car boot sale, and if you do see it, please let me buy it instead. But Rage is the Stephen King book that is worth the money, and some of them go for silly money. If you find one in like near mint condition, you're laughing for months. So yeah, keep your eyes open for that. You're right. You can never tell what video will take off. Yeah, it's crazy because at first my book bundle video was doing really well, and I quickly got to 2,000 views, and I thought this is the video. And when I posted that boot sale video that has now gone mad, it started off quite slow, quite slow, quite slow. And then I would say the last 4 days, it's gone crazy. I think yesterday was just under 30,000 views on it, just yesterday alone. So who knows where it's going to go to. It must hit that point at some stage where it just falls off. But why it's going, I'm just going to run with it and just see. And it'll be amazing if we can get to 100K. I don't think it will, but if we can get there, I'll be absolutely blown away, and I'll always be happy with that. Yeah, and Santa said the same with Rage as well. So yeah, keep your eyes open for that book. Well, we're just over the hour now. Is there any more questions anyone would like to ask before I shoot off? As I say, thank you for everyone once again who has subscribed to the channel, or even just joined the live today, or most importantly, anyone who's took the time to even view one of my videos as well. I'm always interested in feedback. I'm always interested in what I can do better. I've had some really good advice from a couple of people on the channel. One of them talking about doing maybe some audio on top of the video. So the reasons why I might have left something behind at the car boot, or the reason why I'm picking something up. So I'm going to try that this weekend and see how we get on. But as I say, this weekend I'm down at Exmouth, so it will be different boot sales you'll see. I'm excited by that because sometimes going to new boot sales is exciting as well. So yeah, so Maggie was saying about the book as well, looking for it too. Yeah, it come up the other day, and I thought, my first thought was, did I have that book when I sold my Stephen King bundle? And I definitely didn't. I had to double check because I thought, oh my God, I've sold that bundle for like 30 quid, you know, and someone's got £1,000 book. So yeah. It could be because your channel is approaching 1K subs and the video is doing well, YouTube promote you. Yes, I think YouTube have picked it up for some reason or another and wanted to get it out there. And I think you're right. Maybe it's because I got over that 500 subs, because that's when it started to go a bit crazy. So yeah, you might be spot on there. YouTube might see when you get to 500 subs about how quickly can we get this person to the 1,000, because obviously as soon as you get there, YouTube can make money off your videos as well as you can as well. So that might be why. The video is going to keep going. It's not falling off. Mel, I know you told me this morning, and my response to you was the same. It was like, oh, I don't think it will ever get close to that. And you were the one who said to me, this is going to get 100,000. But I'm just expecting to wake up tomorrow and it just to stop. But, you know, you're the expert. I'm not, Mel. So I hope you are completely right. Just to let you know, your YouTube channel is being discussed right now in the chat of Crystalline's morning call. Well, that's good. Hopefully people are saying nice things and not saying, how's this idiot got this many views? So yeah, I'll be jumping in there after this call actually. So thanks, Carl. Appreciate that. What's your favorite item to sell? If I could sell any item and I could sell it constantly, it'd be video games, because I'm into video games and they're easy to post, easy to list, easy to pack. But this is going to surprise a lot of people. I have loved selling the books. And honestly, I didn't think I would enjoy it as much as I did. And when I come to niching down in the future, books now is definitely an opportunity and definitely something I'm thinking about, because beforehand, I didn't think books would sell, and they are. But what do I love most? Bread makers. And that's going to sound crazy to some people, but I have sold many a bread maker and picked them up for £2, £3, £4 at a car boot sale. And they consistently go for about £50 or £60, and you find them everywhere. So another bolo for people, bread makers, as long as they're in good condition, people love the home baking. So yeah, that's what I like to sell. You're right, Santa. The algorithm is complex and constantly changing. I don't have a clue about the algorithm. I need to speak to Mel about what I need to do about adverts and monetization as well. So yeah, I don't have a clue. It changes daily. But what I will say, advice to anyone, is I watch a lot of Think Media on YouTube, and they talk about growing YouTube channels and they review other people's channels. So I've spent hours watching them and getting ideas from them as well. So several 100,000, Mel, stop it. I'll come to you, Mel, when it doesn't, and I'll blame you now because you've jinxed it. But if it does get anywhere closer, I'll be over the moon. Bread makers, good God, no. Pete, have you had bad experience with bread makers? It is funny though, because at car boot sales, they always say to me, oh, what are you going to make in there first? And I'm like, oh, bread? And they're like, oh, you can make loads of things in here. And I'm more of a case of, no, it's going to go on eBay. But, you know, I've never tested it fully. I've never made bread. Maybe I should do that as a video. Maybe test the bread maker completely and make some bread and see how it comes out. Yeah, you're right, Chris. That was my thought process. Even when I was doing the pop-ups of sold items in the top corner of one of my videos, that took so much time to even get the screenshots. So yeah, I'm going to trial it to see, but I agree. I think the commentary is too much. Just kind of let people hear you have an interaction with people, and then they can do their own research and make the judgment as well. I need to watch Think Media. Yeah, they're very good. Very good channel. Oh, see what I mean about Steve's dad jokes? It's all about making that dough. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they are just a big old thing to pack. I've got some boxes that fit them perfectly, but yeah, completely agree. Luckily, they sell through so quickly. I pick up bread makers and they sell literally straight away. Hold on. Oh God, yeah, she had a bad return on it. Yeah, I've had one return on the bread makers. You've got to make sure they're in really good condition. Yeah, chop chop spot on. That's what I do. So a tip on bread makers. We now moved on to the bread maker chat, which is great. So tip on the bread maker: take the bin out and see if there's any rusty underneath. Yeah, absolutely. Check that. That's really important. People like the commentary took me ages. Yeah, I agree, Chris. Editing takes so much time. People think it's just a case of you filming a GoPro and chuck it up there. You can do so if you want the footage raw, but when you're editing out all the boring stuff at a car boot, um, you know, it does take time to do it. Need to make sure you have the paddle. Yeah, I've brought many bread makers in the time without the paddle, and I've sold them without the paddle, and people have returned it because I haven't got the paddle. So, yeah, if you do find a paddle, sometimes you find a box of bits with their bread maker paddles in from maybe a house clearance person. I'd pick them up and keep it to the side because lots of them don't. Yeah, Tap Peller saying bread makers are good sellers. Yeah, they can. I said they can be. They've done me well over the future, but you're right. You can make bread in a bread maker. Who knows? Yeah, funny Santa when they told me that. You know, asked me that. Sorry, what are you going to make first? Or maybe a loaf of bread, maybe. They're like, oh, you can make cakes in here. You can make all sorts. But yeah, I don't normally test them that much. A groan is the usual response to my dad jokes. Yeah, I did groan when you sent me that one on Instagram as well. We were on holiday when it came back. Sat outside our house for a week, festering. Oh, returns are the worst thing, I think. Um, Especially like that, marriage reselling. When they come back and it's clearly not in the same condition you sent it out. I mean, luckily eBay do let you deduct that 50% if you need to, if you're a top rated seller. But there's nothing worse when someone's clearly used it a few times, probably had people coming over to make a loaf of bread, etc., and used it and then want to send it back. But I see eBay all over, sadly. Yeah, absolutely. I talking of things about selling our own as well. I sell a lot of a like mixer and blender parts. I can't grab at the moment, but lots of the bowls and stuff like Kenwood mixers, crazy money some of them. So again, if you find them, it's worth picking up, even if you don't think the blender's going to work. The accessories sell. When I film boots out, I tend to self-edit as I go somewhat. I stop and start filming when I see something interesting, saves a lot of time. Yeah, I've started doing that a lot more, Chris, with the boots out videos. I've started actually realizing you can turn off your GoPro. So instead of having it where you're walking around and you go through 3 or 4 batteries, I just literally start, stop. And if I spot something, I'll put it on just in case of the footage as well. But yeah, I think it's a trial and error for me at the moment on the YouTube boots out videos because some are working, some haven't been as good. So yeah, I'm going to keep trialing new things and just see what happens. You should have answered that you were going to make money in the bread maker. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm buying it. It's really funny at car boots. I don't know if you guys agree when you speak to someone and they say, "Oh, I hope you really enjoy it. I hope you really have fun playing with that PlayStation, etc." Oh yeah, I will. And knowing in your head you're going to resell it. But I've got no issue with people, especially now I've got the GoPro. I had someone ask me on the weekend, you know, what's the GoPro for? And I've got no issue telling people what I do, you know, and I explain to them that people like to see what people pick up at a car boot sale and they like to see what kind of things are out there, etc. So yeah, I've got no issue with that. A lot of returns coming up now. Football boots come back right up to the month limit of return. Came back with mud and studs, 50%. Yeah, I would do the same, Derek. I would take 50% off and relist them, give them a quick clean and relist them up. But it's funny, isn't it? The amount of returns that get open on 29 days, it's so funny. Or the people who say they're not happy with an item and you ask them to open a return and never do. I had that for a big TV I sold the other week. I tested it all, it worked perfectly. The person received it and said that it didn't work, it wouldn't tune into their Sega Mega Drive. So I told them the channel I need to list it on, and they were basically saying that I was being sarcastic because I said to them, thanks for reaching out in my message. And if that's sarcastic, I'm doing something wrong. Anyway, so they said they want to return it. I said offer 30 days hassle-free returns and heard nothing since. So I think someone was after a partial refund, maybe. Anyone want to have a fight at a car boot sale that we can come film? Well, I'll tell you what, if you two have an argument and a fight at a car boot sale, let me know where it is. Let me film, and then I can put the video out so it does well on my channel. And I can give you a shout out on the video, no issue. But yeah, you're right. If you see anyone having a punch up at a car boot sale, I'm sure that will get you some views. I'm not advising to go and look for that, but people like the drama. Yeah, Chris, I'm the same. When you do the 50% refund, eBay leaves the return open for 2 weeks. The buyer has to actually accept it, I believe. Otherwise, it just closes out. So if they don't accept it, you know, it will stay there for 2 weeks. But yeah, it's frustrating because it's annoying having it on the stats, and I always wonder whether it does actually affect your store as well. Yeah, 4 hours of raw video take a long time to sort through. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I think the first boot sale video I'd done, because I left the GoPro on, I think it was about an hour and a half, and that was an absolute nightmare to go through. So now I try and start, stop. And so normally it's about half an hour, 40 minutes at a car boot sale, but by the time you cut it down, you're around sort of 20, 25 minutes or so. My new faith phrase to use with customers, I'll circle back tomorrow. Yeah, absolutely. Um, customers they're great. We need customers to run our businesses, but I think sometimes you can tell the people who are genuine. I was speaking to someone about returns earlier, and when people are genuine, they message you first of all and say, "Hi James, really sorry to say I've received this item. It's been damaged in the post. Here's some pictures, blah blah blah. I wanted to reach out to you. What's the next steps?" You kind of think to yourself, do you know what? 100% genuine. I'll accept the return. If it is damaged, I'll open up a case with the courier company. If it's not worth returning because it is damaged, I can see that. I'll refund you in full and I'll deal with that my side. I don't mind doing that. But it's when the customers are digging for that partial refund, or even when they message you and say, could you offer me a partial refund? That's when I really just turn around and say, or I'll have the item back. If you're not happy, I don't want you to be half happy or 20% happy. I want you to be 100% happy. So send it back. Test your powers, Mel. Kick me out. I don't know if Mel's still in. She might have gone to bed. She might still be here, but it's very late. But yeah, Mel, if you are there, let's test it on Uncle Albert because he's new to the stream. Let's boot him out and see if it works. No, I'm definitely joking. Uncle Albert, thank you for joining. I've seen you in the other streams as well, so I really appreciate you coming with me today. So, but look, guys, hour and 22. I didn't want to pop on for an hour. Just say a massive thank you to you all as well. As I said, I'm going to put out some more content probably on Monday now. Oh, Mel is still here. So yeah, I'm going to put out some more content probably on Monday now, which will be the boot sale footage, hopefully. I've got a live at 7 o'clock on Monday with someone from the reseller group from the US. And as I mentioned earlier, he done something on Facebook Marketplace that absolutely changed his eBay business. And I'm really keen to find out his thought process behind it. And I'll give you a little spoiler. It's very simple what he done, but very creative, and actually something that I want to utilize more in my business, especially coming into the winter months. So if you are available, please come on Monday to the live at 7 o'clock. If not, thank you all again so much for all the subscribers, for everyone who's joined the live today, for lots of people who have supported me through the whole YouTube journey and given me advice and told me to just do it, as in Mel. I can't thank you enough. Words can't put into it, and I can say thank you forever. You don't understand what it's actually made me feel. So on that note, I want to say thanks again, and thank you for watching. I'll see you all soon. Cheers.